Hello, I am live and back in 2021 with another tour talk. I hope that people can see me and everything is working okay. Um, a lot of stuff to tell you. And first off, thank you everybody for watching the tour talks I did last year in 2020. And I didn't mean to sort of up and vanish on you guys. I was doing the tour talks, and then luckily I was able to start doing the cemetery tour again for a while. I went on hiatus when the pandemic very first happened. I started doing tours again in June, and of course, everybody wore a mask, we social distance, I kept groups pretty small. And I wound up doing June through about mid-November, and that worked out really well. But then the pandemic got really bad here in Los Angeles in mid-November, and at that point, it just didn't make sense to keep doing it for a while. So right now it is on hiatus. It's really weird for me because next month will mark my 19th anniversary of doing the cemetery tour. And if I'm in Los Angeles and in town on a Saturday, that's what I do. So it feels very like mentally weird to wake up on a Saturday and I'm not doing that. So I don't know. I guess the tour talks are kind of giving me once again an outlet. But again, I didn't mean to vanish on you. I'm going to start doing these again. And I appreciate all of you who've watched, tuned in, and said that you enjoy them. So some updates on the cemetery tour. I'm hoping that it will be able to resume in the months ahead. But again, the pandemic's very bad here in Los Angeles right now. So I'm kind of in what I describe as wait and see mode. However, I've been very much inspired by my very good friend April Clemmer, and she's done a whole series of virtual like tours or lectures. And I've been inspired by her, and I'm going to start doing that as well. So probably toward the end of January, I will be doing my first in a series of monthly tour talk lectures. These will be paid lectures. It'll probably be about maybe $20, and they'll be like a full hour of content. And also, every month they'll have a different theme because there are so many people at the cemetery. So every month there'll be a different topic or subtopic, and I think that will be a lot of fun. So please stay tuned. I'm still working on writing those and getting those organized. And my iPad died and is completely unusable, and my MacBook is having problems. So trying to get technology fixed during a pandemic is not easy, but I'm trying really hard to do the best I can. So that's what I can say for myself. And I also am very, very grateful to the cemetery for, again, letting me do my tour. And also, they granted me permission this past fall to do a night tour. And that was really fun because normally if you are at the cemetery at night, it is for a movie screening or Dia de los Muertos or perhaps a concert. And there are thousands, literally hundreds or thousands of people there. But I thought, what if I did a tour where there were 5 people, maybe 10? And my goal for the night tour was to create something that was both eerie, but also very intimate. And at first, I was kind of worried people wouldn't like it and they would feel like, well, it's October. I want to see, zombies popping out or something really, like Universal Horror Nights or something. And I was a little nervous about how it would be received, but people really seemed to enjoy it. And in fact, I had a few people take it several times. And I even had people say they even liked it better than the day tour, which it's really shocked me. I was not expecting that. My friend Ava Garcia actually helped me, and she put together a gorgeous Victorian reproduction outfit that she made for me. And also a fan of the tour gave me a vintage Victorian mourning brooch, which I wore. So it kind of created this gothic kind of atmosphere, which was really a lot of fun. And before I get into the star of the day, we have to get to the mega star that is in every episode. And that, of course, is Close Up. Because I know, I don't kid myself. I really know that he's the reason people tune in or probably take the tour or whatever. In fact, I've had people even say, yeah, I follow you and I've taken your tour to meet Close Up. So he's the star. I'm just the supporting cast here. A lot of close-up stories have happened lately. When I was doing the night tour, Close Up was clearly delighted at having me there both in the daytime on the weekends and the evening. That was really awesome for him. And I did one private nighttime tour where I had a whole team of cat caretakers, about 10 of the cat caretakers at the cemetery. And it's almost like Close Up knew who they were. I think he did, actually. And boy, did he put on a show that night. He met me at my car. I'm not making this up. He met me at my car. He followed the entire tour, start to finish, at my side. He was jumping up on sarcophagi, jumping up on headstones. He was doing all these poses. One of my friends goes, "That cat performs. Like, he is a performing animal. It's amazing." So that was a lot of fun. Also, it did get pretty cold on the night tours, and I have a big faux, like 40s style black faux fur coat that I had on one night. And I was sitting, I made mausoleum entrance optional for everybody. And sometimes we would just sit outdoors and I would socially just talk about the stars in the mausoleum. Well, one night I was sitting in front of the cathedral mausoleum in my faux fur coat. And I don't know if Close Up was playing or if he somehow got confused and thought I was like a life-size version of the doppelganger. But he came up to my coat and he started doing this. It was like he was fighting with my fur coat. And it was really hilarious. And when I wore my Victorian outfit with the big hoop skirt, he actually ran under the hoop skirt and hid. And I was trying to like get him out from under my skirt. And I can't tell you how much joy and happiness that cat has brought me. And I know a lot of other people too. He is very comforting. It's like he's magic, and it's like I've seen him comfort grieving families. I've seen him sit with people and just sit there. It's like he knows he has a job to do. I know that sounds weird, but it's kind of how I feel. And for people that worry about him, and always I get people that do, please don't, because honestly, he is so well taken care of. Micheline Cherie is the head of cat caretaking at Hollywood Forever. She has made sure that Close Up and all of the cats there are spayed, neutered, vaccinated, fed. There's like a team of people that feed them, check on them, and they have a great life. I mean, Close Up has the life. People bring him toys and treats, and he holds court at the cemetery. In fact, he has gotten so involved with the cemetery tour, I kind of joke that it's really his tour, and I'm just kind of interjecting history when and where the opportunity presents itself. But sometimes it does more than other times. But all right, so that's enough about my beautiful baby, but stay tuned for more. And also, I do have an Instagram account for him, Close Up the Cemetery Cat, and I try to post every day something fun and enjoyable, which we all desperately need in this world that we are in right now. So tune in to his Instagram, Close Up the Cemetery Cat. All right, now on to today's star. Today, I thought, what would be a great way to kick off the new year? And I thought, you know what would be a great way? This would be a great way. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Jr. is also on the tour. And one of the difficult things about giving the tour is that the tour is already 2.5 full hours long, and I really can't make it longer than that because 2.5 is already pushing it. But you can't spend a tremendous amount of time at any one grave. You kind of have to keep moving to keep it on schedule. And I can only kind of stand there for a minute or two, hit a few high points, and keep the tour moving along. And there's so many things that I don't have time to talk about, or I can't do a deep dive into somebody's life, again, when you got to keep it moving. So that's, again, one of the fun things about these tour talks. So Douglas Fairbanks Jr. was the son of Douglas Fairbanks Sr., the great silent film star. Jr. was born in 1909, and his mother was Beth Ann Sully, Douglas Fairbanks Sr.'s first wife, before Mary Pickford, of course. And Jr., being the child of a movie star, I mean, even today, this happens where the child also becomes a star. And on one hand, you think, oh, well, of course they did. Their parents a big star. Their parents got all this money and connections. It's so easy for them. The answer is yes and no. On one hand, yes, they are born to wealth, privilege, fame, and access, and they are not going to have the struggles of breaking into the industry like, say, a normal person like you or I would experience. But on the other hand, while they may have easy entree, if you will, they have to prove themselves once they're in the door. Because if you get that opportunity and you suck, you're not going to get more opportunities no matter who your parent is. So there is a sense that you do have to prove yourself, even if you are the child of a big star. And Douglas Fairbanks certainly did that. He had kind of a fractured childhood. His mom and dad divorced when he was about 9 years old, and his mother basically was the parent. Douglas Sr. was off making movies and marrying Mary Pickford, and he really was not a hands-on father at all. Well, the mother, Beth Ann Sully, she raised him in LA, New York, London, and Paris. He was kind of all over the place as a kid. And he actually got a movie contract when he was 13 years old. And obviously, it was due to the family name and the publicity and all of that. But he, as a young man over the years, he definitely proved that he also had the goods. He was extremely good looking, and he also had the charisma. Some even felt he was better looking than his dad, but he had the charm, he had the talent, and he had the chops. And he kind of had supporting roles for many years. You can see him in supporting Greta Garbo and John Gilbert in A Woman of Affairs. He was so young when he was with Edward G. Robinson in the film Little Caesar. He was in a lot of films as a really, really young man. He almost looks like a baby if you look at some of those older films. Well, when he was 19 years old, he married Joan Crawford. And to many people in Hollywood sort of thought this was Joan sort of becoming a Hollywood princess, and this was this fairy tale love story. Well, they were super young. Douglas was 19, and Joan was probably 23, maybe 24. And they got married. It didn't last, of course. Both parties cheated, and it's kind of one of these typical, Hollywood marriages early on. But Douglas continued to work as an actor. He made a lot of pre-code films, worked with Loretta Young at Warner Brothers First National, and he really slowly started kind of developing out of his dad's shadow and into his own man, which again, I think that's a struggle for a lot of the daughters and sons of movie stars, is kind of developing your own sense of identity and who you are apart from the shadow of your famous parent. And so Douglas certainly did that. And through the 1930s, he worked very steadily as an actor. He and Joan divorced in 1933. And in 1939, Douglas Sr. died, and that year he got an honorary Oscar, which Douglas Jr. accepted. Well, in 1941, of course, the United States got involved in World War II, and Douglas served in the Navy. He had a very, very distinguished naval career. And even after World War II had ended, he continued in the Naval Reserves till I think about 1954. And he went back to Hollywood, of course, and resumed his career in Hollywood. After the divorce from Joan Crawford, he married a woman named Mary Lee in 1939. And they were very, very happy. They were married from 1939 until Mary Lee's death in 1988. They had 3 daughters, and then they had grandchildren, and then great-grandchildren. So there are still plenty of Fairbanks relatives out there today. In any case, Douglas resumed his career, and he did television. He lived, by the way, to be 90 years old. He died in 2000, which one of the advantages for a star living that long is we can chronicle their history. If you even go on YouTube, there are a lot of videos, and you can go down the rabbit hole, which I love to do, and watch interviews with Douglas as an older man and all sorts of things that he talks about. Douglas wrote not 1, but 2 books about his storied and really fascinating life. The first one I'm going to recommend today is called Salad Days. And this is about Douglas's life from birth, basically, until about the beginning of World War II, roughly. And then he wrote an entire book about his military career. It's called One Hell of a War. And that is also quite fascinating as well. But Salad Days is really fun because Douglas knew and met and saw everybody, silent and sound. And before he met Mary Lee and got married, he had a very torrid affair with Marlene Dietrich. He knew everybody in Hollywood. He traveled all over the world. He made movies. He just had a really heck of an interesting life. And I guarantee you'll enjoy this book. And it may be out of print, but I think you could probably find copies on eBay or at abebooks.com. Or I'm sure they're floating around there, out there at libraries as well. So I do recommend Salad Days. Also, in terms of movies, Gunga Din is by far Fairbanks's most famous film. Also, there is Angels Over Broadway with Rita Hayworth. There's The Prisoner of Zenda. There is a ton of really terrific Douglas Fairbanks films out there. My favorite is Gunga Din. I think that's probably the film he is best remembered for. But Douglas is interred in the Fairbanks sarcophagus on the Fairbanks lawn at Hollywood Forever. And he truly, while he might have been a Hollywood prince, he certainly proved himself worthy of the Fairbanks name. He had his own acting chops in his own right, and certainly carved out a fascinating life and career for himself. So check out this book, watch these movies, and enjoy one of the great stars of Hollywood's golden age. And by the way, again, thank you all for watching. And as I had mentioned, I'm planning a series of paid tour lectures. I'm working on that, hopefully end of January. Stay tuned to my personal Facebook page and also the tour Facebook page. I will post ticket information and details and all of that when it is available. But meantime, please stay safe, wear your mask, follow the regulations. I thank all of you for watching this. And again, I will do my best to keep cranking out fun, classic Hollywood content for all of you during this crazy and difficult time in our history. So thank you, and I will see you next Saturday at 12 noon as well. And also on Hollywood Kitchen, by the way, too. I'm doing that as well. So January 17th at 12 p.m. on the West Coast, I will be making Cary Grant's apple pie with special guest Ruth Munsack, Kelly Pratt, and special guest Rick Green. So stay tuned for that. And again, thank you so much for tuning in.